So everybody, and Luke, we have been having this exhibition open now for a week, and it is, I mean, unbelievable. People are signing up, people are booking tickets,
Can
people
I
arrive,
can I just interrupt you and congratulate Julie again on the most amazing exhibition on my great-grandmother. I mean, it is just brilliant. You have done such an amazing job with the interpretation panels, with gathering all the photos, all of the things from here, all that you know.
And in the coach house, Chris just helped me put up this big banner. It's arrived, everybody. The American Heiress cutting edge AI technology exhibition banner. And I created this, and interesting, I'm just gonna say one thing, is now that I've curated the exhibition, I now have a newfound appreciation and respect for any curator who has to make A1 poster boards with limited amount of text. You've got to put all the photos together. I mean, each of those boards took me 8 hours, and this one not quite as long, but probably about 4 hours. So these things, every time I see any type of, like I said, going into the V&A or the British Museum and I'm in an exhibition, I'm literally going to read every single word on every poster board because I know how long it took. So this is to hopefully, wow. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. How's it going? Whoop, whoop. Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, now, the question is, where do I'm not tall enough. But okay, Chris is gonna do it. Okay, hold on, here, hold on. Okay, but you've got to put your feet there.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, wait, I gotta get around here, 1 second. Everybody, whoa. Okay, good, I'm the camera woman. This is amazing. Okay. Look at that. Oh my gosh, how did you do that? That is so good. That is so cool. It's kind of fun being behind the camera. Groundbreaking AI brings history to life. Visit today. I wanted to put this text in so people can sit here and read it. And then I wanted to give a little bit about her life so that people know that when they go into the exhibition, they will, not only find this out, but loads and loads more. Isn't she beautiful there? So loads and loads more. So originally I had this paragraph at the bottom and this was moved up, but Luke and I thought it's really important for people to read this, and then they're gonna be like, wow, we definitely want to see this. So it's gonna go here. And if people wanna go around to the other side of the shop, they're gonna go through here and they'll be able to hear. I'm just so pleased. The feedback that we've had from all of the tour guides that are taking people through has been absolutely tremendous. So word is really starting to get out. I mean, a weekend and we're getting tickets, but so many of you from the last video asked, how did we do this? And so I brought in the expert, like how did we create this groundbreaking technology, custom, American Countess AI?
The matter of marrying George Montagu was indeed fraught with complexities. In the early months of 1905, I was quite uncertain. In March of that year, I expressed my reservations, noting that while I liked George more than anyone else, I believed mutual love to be the foundation of marriage.
Can I just stop you there again?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to keep stopping Julie today. Because I set you up there. I congratulated you on your amazing exhibition.
Did I volley it back?
And that was the cue for you to say, Luke, you were a big part of this too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't. She didn't pick up on that.
I know he was a big part.
Okay.
You were a big part. So you're going to explain to everybody how we were able to create this
My role in this has been very small, but it's been very important.
No, it's been very important.
It's fine. I get it. It's okay. It's all okay.
So you're going to explain to everybody how you created this, because I don't even understand it, actually. It's genius. I mean, it makes my hair stand up.
It's not really my genius. But once upon a time, I used to work in tech a little bit. And so there are a few things that I've picked up over the years. But fortunately, in this case, what we did was something that piggybacked this amazing new system that you'll all have heard about called ChatGPT. And when that came out, it meant that we could suddenly ask questions of this chatbot and get back these extraordinarily rich and coherent answers. And then there was a new system that was added to this called Custom GPT. And essentially what we've done with Alberta is to create what's called a custom GBT, and this has really brought Alberta back to life. What's so extraordinary about it is that sometimes we're sort of talking to her and it just sounds like her intonation, the accent to me, but also, of course, all the knowledge that she has. So the way we've done this is to piggyback the power of ChatGPT, but also add in our own content. And that content has come from your Alberta research project.
Yeah.
We've got all these wonderful volunteers helping Julie with the transcription of 10,000 letters. We've only done about 1,000 so far, but we've uploaded all of this material into this custom GPT, the virtual Alberta, and that has really brought her back to life. There's a few other little bits, extra lines of instruction and, clever bits of tech that we've added in there. We won't talk about those because those are, completely proprietary and
exactly.
Only Mapperton knows how to do this.
Yeah, and we're the only historic house doing this.
But yeah, so we've and it's just worked beyond our expectations.
It has.
So what
it
we
has.
have now, when you come on the tour, you come in here, you get time to look at the letters, look at the photographs,
go through
learn about Alberta through the different panels.
Yeah.
All of this you'll get on your virtual tour.
Seeing some of her photographs, and of course the hat she wore, her 14th dress, but
and we have Alberta reincarnated as an iPad.
And some instructions on how to use it.
So the tour guides give their tour, the first part of the tour, and then they come to the end point of the tour, and this is really the main event. It's the point at which Alberta is brought back to life.
It's crazy,
and
you
so
guys. It's so crazy.
What we can do here with the iPad is we launch our custom GPT, and then we have the opportunity to ask Alberta a question. So let's do that now. Hi Alberta, fantastic that you've joined us today. I'm here with Julie, my wife. This is Luke, your great-grandson, and we're so delighted that Julie's been able to put on this exhibition about your life, and we hope you appreciate that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your time at Hinchingbrooke? Did you enjoy coming over from America and taking on this great estate?
Hello, Luke and Julie. It is truly heartwarming to know you are keeping the story of my life and the legacy of our family vibrant and alive through this wonderful exhibition. My transition from America to Hinchingbrooke was a journey of both excitement and profound adjustment. Leaving behind the bustling life of America for England's historic grandeur was no small change. Hinchingbrooke, with its deep historical roots and architectural beauty, was indeed awe-inspiring, but it also demanded much from me. Embracing this grand estate as my new home involved not only adapting to a new culture, but also taking on the responsibilities that came with it. The estate was a center of social and charitable activities, which I found deeply fulfilling. I threw myself into these duties with zeal, supporting local charities and immersing myself in the arts and history of our family. Despite the challenges, such as the cold, drafty rooms in the vast mansion, there was a certain charm and a sense of duty that came with being the Lady of Hinchingbrooke. The beauty of the gardens, the historical significance of every room, and the opportunity to host gatherings that could influence and support our community offered a profound sense of purpose. Thank you, Luke and Julie, for celebrating this part of our family history. Your engagement with my past fills me with great pride.
Alberta, thank you so much for telling us all of that. It's lovely to have you back here with us. I know Julie's got a question for you, but I thought before we moved on, whether, actually you had quite a lot of fun at Hinchingbrooke, and maybe you could tell us a joke about one of the dinner parties that you gave at Hinchingbrooke for local celebrated politicians and people from the arts.
Oh, certainly. The dinner parties at Hinchingbrooke were indeed splendid affairs, often filled with a delightful mix of wit and sophistication. One amusing incident comes to mind, which occurred during a particularly grand dinner where local dignitaries and several esteemed figures from the arts were in attendance. As the story goes, during one of these gatherings, a rather spirited debate began to unfold between a politician and a well-known playwright about the virtues of modern versus classical forms of theater. The discussion grew quite animated, with each participant ardently defending their stance. Seeing an opportunity to inject a bit of humor and lighten the mood, I quipped, "Gentlemen, surely we can find common ground here. After all, whether it's Shakespeare or Shaw, we all end up discussing it over the same dinner table." The room erupted in laughter, and the tension eased immediately. It was a gentle reminder that, regardless of our differences, we were all there to enjoy each other's company. And indeed, that dinner is still fondly remembered, not just for the lively debates, but for the laughter and camaraderie that followed. It's these moments of shared joy and lightheartedness that truly made the gatherings at Hinchingbrooke memorable.
I don't know about you.
I mean, that's incredible.
I've switched her off, but I get a shiver.
It's unbelievable.
It's extraordinary how, based on the letters that we've supplied, we can have developed, and with the help of ChatGPT, a character that has really kind of come back to life and can give us texture from that time. I wouldn't say that was the funniest joke I've ever heard, but it wasn't bad.
She pulled it from her letter. She pulled it from her letter.
She pulled it from her letter,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like a real person.
It was unbelievable. So I've got one just to ask her, because funny enough, I haven't asked her this. It's on one of the boards, so we know it's true, but I just want to see what her answer is.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, and others of you might have questions that you want to ask Alberta, and we can think about putting some of those in a later episode.
Exactly. Hi, Alberta. It's Julie here. And I was just wondering, did you ever visit Mapperton here in West Dorset?
Hello, Julie. It's lovely to hear from you. Yes, indeed, I did have the pleasure of visiting Mapperton in West Dorset. It was a delightful place, quite enchanting with its lush gardens and the splendid Elizabethan manor house that seemed to whisper tales of yore at every turn. In a letter written in October 1905 during one of my visits, I described Mapperton as, "Never in all my life have I seen a small Elizabethan house so beautiful. For some gentle soul who would make it lovely, all old oak and wood paneling, diamond panes, creepers outlining every window, clematis, lavender, and honeysuckle." It was a scene right out of a pastoral poem, the kind of place that inspired both awe and a profound sense of peace. The visit left a lasting impression on me, reinforcing my love for England's historical architecture and the serene beauty of its countryside. The beauty of Mapperton, with its intricate gardens and historical depth, truly captured my heart, making it one of my cherished memories.
That is extraordinary. She did indeed visit Mapperton. Those are the exact words that she said in her letter.
Exact words.
And,
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
What was extraordinary about it was the way she says, "For some gentle soul who would make it all lovely."
I know.
Yeah, could that be you?
I know.
Are you the
That's what I'm
gentle soul?
thinking.
Julie,
I'm like
could you
in
be the gentle
tears.
soul? Alberta is
Oh
talking
my
to me.
gosh.
And she talks
She
about
writes
the
that in her letter.
clematis, the
Unbelievable.
clematis and the lavender, all things that we've
see right
still
now.
got here. So this is an astonishingly powerful use of this technology.
And we're still continuing. So the Alberta Research Project is still ongoing. They are transcribing every day. They then take, the letters come back to me in their transcribed form. I then give them to Luke, and Luke then puts them into the American Countess AI. So we're continually updating the AI as well as more letters.
She's going to get smarter and smarter as time goes on. Anyway, we really hope you've enjoyed learning more about
how we've
Alberta,
done this.
Virtual Alberta, and she's only going to improve. So we're
Yeah.
going to have to do this again.
Exactly, and if you are interested in getting a whole virtual tour of the entire exhibition, and whereby I ask several more questions, it's really worth it. It's buymeacoffee.com/Julie J. Montague, and all those cups of coffee goes towards my research, towards the supplies we need here, the archiving supplies, the materials, and really the technology that we're working with here. So thank you all so, so much.
We are here today back at Holacre, where Woody and Twiggy have been living a fantastic life until they decided that they wanted to leave us, which was a great shock. But the reason they were able to leave us is because we've had these huge storms through the season, and the storm water has come down, it's brought logs, it's brought rocks, and it's bashed into the grill at the bottom of the stream, creating holes. And alas, they have got out. So the question is, what are we going to do about this in the future? And I'm here today, luckily, with Mike Tilley. Mike helps the estate enormously in all sorts of ways, particularly with the woodlands, but also with some of the groundwork stuff. And Mike, you've got a bit of experience with water and drainage. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we've been doing a bit with retention ponds and trying to slow down the flow of water, with woody dams and things like that, just to try and dissipate the energy of water.
Yeah,
so
and do you think that's kind of what we need to do here?
It's definitely what we need to do here, because we had a video from the last storm which showed the immense power of the water. It just came from overnight. So if we can slow that water down, then we slow down the damage.
And what are the options for doing that, do you think?
Well, we could try and build a retention pond further up.
Yeah.
To take the force out of the water with an
overflow. So a retention pond, just so I get this right, is you have a big storm, there's a lot of water that comes down, and that pond holds that water from becoming a torrent further downstream.
Yeah.
That's the point. It kind of retains it.
And also it possibly takes the energy out of the water as well. You'll still get a central flow from the mainstream, but if the overflow can go into a retention pond, then you can take the energy and then the destructive power of the water. So that's
one option. Idea. One option is the retention pond, and option two?
Well, we've had several thoughts of perhaps slowing down with large lumps of wood further up to make more of a zigzag in the valley,
the stream. Yeah.
To try and take the energy out that way. One of the issues we're trying to do that, if you put large logs in, if the flow becomes too great, it takes the large logs down, they start to turn over and they will cause an immense amount of damage.
Right.
So we have to choose the best.
Really what we needed was for Woody and Twiggy to build an enormous dam further up and create their own retention pond, but alas, they didn't do that for us.
Which is what they would do.
That's what they're supposed to do.
But we had exceptionally high rainfall last winter.
It's these last few months. Right, let's go and have a look at a couple of these options. This was a pond. This was where Woody and Twiggy were released, and they were able to dive down. It was actually quite deep. But what happened was that in one of the storms, the level of the water got so high that the pressure on the banks caused the whole thing to burst, and the whole pond went down the valley. Something that we want to try and avoid in the future. So Mike, what's the thinking here? What could we do to turn this back into a retention pond?
Well, we've got quite a lot of material here already. So we've got the trees that have fallen over, and dead wood and some live wood. We could actually make a structure out of that and try and perhaps slow down this flow. If we are going to make this into a retention pond, that we slow down the flow by trying to form a zigzag and take the energy out. What we're going to have to be careful of is not disappearing out of sight with any machinery in here, and also not creating a problem by going down.
By disappearing out of sight, you mean sinking in your digger?
Sinking in here. So we need to keep the machine up, and we'll probably need some of this wood to keep the machine up. to do anything because it's exceptionally soft in there, and we don't want to make it worse.
Would we divert the water here so that it was predominantly coming into the pond rather than going around that way? What do you think?
I think we still need to keep that there. I mean, we can do it the other way. We can have the water going in through here to fill the pond all the time, and then that could be the overflow through that channel.
Yeah.
Looking at this, and that we could block that off and make that like a weir system there. So when the water comes up 1 metre or 2 metres high, it then overflows and runs down through and through the other one.
Yeah.
And keep this for the lower flow in the summer, so you're getting fresh water coming in all the time.
And what about the drainage at the other end? Would you still be putting in a culvert at the bottom?
I think we need to put in a culvert just to make it so we've got something to build the grill against.
All of this was covered. This was a pond before.
Yes, that's right.
So do you mean that we would aim? I mean, I think for the beavers to come back, they need a pond. They need a place of safety that they can swim into. So would we be getting the levels back up again, or are you envisaging that it's just a stream?
No, we'd still have the levels up, but we'd create something under the water,
right,
to take the energy out.
Right. Okay.
So that when the water comes in, perhaps it takes the energy out of the water.
Right.
And then it flows over, a bit like a beaver builds its own dam.
Yeah. There is a thing called a beaver deceiver. Have you heard of that? A beaver deceiver is a pipe that is used to go into a beaver dam to keep the water levels down.
Yes.
So that the beaver doesn't constantly keep building the dam up.
Yeah.
It actually.
There are things with footballs and similar things I've seen.
But are you imagining a pipework then running along the bottom?
No, we'd have to do something here to make this fairly strong here, but not a pipework, just allow the water to come in as it would and follow the flow. But just try and, because actually looking down there at the bottom, there is actually the start of something like a woody dam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which would slow the flow down.
Yeah.
And then the water would build up, because we've got quite a fall on this pond.
Yeah. And would we potentially combine that with creating some more dams further upstream to just again slow the flow? We're trying to take the energy out. You've got one up there, haven't you already?
Looking at the ones up where we felled the trees or they've fallen over, really they want cutting up now and dropping down in, don't they?
Dropping in to create some more barriers.
More barriers.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring other wood in. There's enough there, but even just a few cuts with the chainsaw, we could drop that down in there.
If only the beavers had been clever enough to do this on our behalf, because that is what they were supposed to be doing, building dams. But they haven't done enough of it here for Mapperton, and in fact, the fact that they haven't done it has led to their escape. Maybe that was their plan all along. All right, let's go have a look down at where we want to put the culvert in and see what that would look like. This is the business end of the enclosure. This is where the water streams down. We've now got this plan to create a retention pond, which will hold some of it back. But obviously the water is still going to come, and it's still going to come up against the grill where we've had all the problems. So I understand, Mike, that you got a plan now for doing this in a slightly different way.
Well, we were going to try and, when the flow reaches here, we were going to try and slow it down as much as we could by perhaps putting some of these bigger logs in up there to try and dissipate the flow. We were going to put in a tube then, 600mm pipe in there, and a new grid to make it stronger, because all the force of the water before was just taken by the grill and a bit of fencing and a couple of strainer posts. So we need to make that a more secure outfall from the pond or the water.
So 600mm, something like that, made of, what would that be made of?
That'd be twin wall plastic pipe. So you're looking 600 like that. And you could put 2 in there, so you could have a lower one to take the normal flow and the secondary one for your overflow.
And where would we reposition the grill that's now buried down under all of that?
Well, the idea is that we're still going to have the grill on this side.
This side of the pipes?
Yeah, because otherwise any debris going down through, well, you could have the grill the other side, but you still need a form of grill this side, otherwise the pipe will block up with that debris that's down there and get crisscrossed in the pipe and block the pipe. So we're going to stop the debris from going in there. But what we could do is to make something else perhaps up here that's accessible to take out the large lumps obviously not during the high storm flow, but just on a day-to-day basis, you keep it clean.
Yeah. Before it gets to the grill.
Before it gets to there. And ideally you won't see it, because by the time the grid's in there and we've built the head wall up to it with either stone or wood, you may see on the outfall, but it will soon disappear into the
I'm getting more
countryside.
sold on the black plastic pipe
definitely
disappearing into the countryside. All right, Mike, excellent. Well, I think we've got a plan.